All right, so last night the forecast for Delta was to get to about 97, but because we did 100 yesterday, we had to do 100 again today. We knew that, so that's right where we are currently. It's not the high for the day, but just as may as well be. Moab fell shy of where we were supposed to be. Right now it's 98 in Grand Junction, 94 in Montrose. It's a little bit early for these official numbers to come in, but we've been to 99 since about 3:50 this afternoon for Grand Junction, kind of fluctuating. And I'll be honest with you, if the high pressure system was over the Four Corners region today, I think we'd have a much better chance of getting to 100 degrees for Grand Junction. But it's off towards the north right now, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. We don't have a whole lot of wind, so you cannot rely on cloud coverage. You cannot rely on winds to cool you off. 5 to 15 miles per hour top wind speeds of the day, right around 10 to 15. Again, none of these are storm associated wind gusts, certainly not locally. Now that will change later this week when we start to get an increase in our rain chances. And I think it's likely we'll also see some flash flood watches for the Grizzly Creek burn scar for the end of the week and the start of the weekend. But there's a lot going on with this weekend forecast, and it's not a slam dunk guarantee that we'll get rain showers. Today, we were mostly dry along the western slope, all the activities down in the southern zones of the state. And that's exactly what we expected. The San Juans, the San Luis Valley, in fact, Alamosa right now, a couple of light showers, some lightning strikes, but it's mostly into the mountain zones. The wet mountains, the opposite of, they're just dry right now. The Sangre de Cristos, that's where it's at right now. That Crestone Needle up at 14,000 feet. I would not want to be trying to bag that one today with all the lightning in the area. Colorado Springs, the Rampart Range, they had some showers earlier, but things are quiet now. Again, this is a southern focus along the border, so that puts Pagosa Springs, the San Juans East and the San Juans, as well as the Abajo Mountains in southeastern Utah. So yeah, Cortez has been rowdy. This cluster of storms have already passed through Cortez, but heavy downpours, gusty winds, lightning strikes, that's the order of business along the southern border of our centennial state today. And you know, it's because of that placement of the high pressure system. Again, if it was over the Four Corners today, we'd see fewer storms and we'd see a lot more heat. But this is kind of migrating a little bit. So we keep rain in the forecast for the southern portion. We keep hot temperatures across the state of Colorado, very hot in the Pacific Northwest, just as hot down in the triple point of Nevada, Arizona, California, probably setting some records, likely dealing with some excessive heat. But I want to put your eyes on something because we're locked in step right now. Get this into motion. High pressure system will not move a whole lot in the next couple of days. We expect the same amount of heat on Wednesday as what we had today. We're not setting records. For Grand Junction, records are in the low 100s. We're not going to set records, but we need this low pressure system off the west coast, this trough of low pressure. We need this to move inland in order to jog this high pressure system around. And when I say around, I mean this needs to migrate to the east better. Now, already by Thursday, we still haven't made good landfall with that low pressure system, but when it does adjust just a little bit, it nudges our high to the east. This needs to go a lot further to the east to pick up the best rain potential. Now, some models indicate this is going to go to the east and then swing back to the west this weekend and dry us out. So our rain chances are not as specific or certainly not as expected as you would think. Now, incidentally, I want to point out this other ridge of high pressure in the Atlantic Ocean. That's likely going to be a defensive linebacker for an incoming tropical wave. We have the potential for a tropical storm in the Atlantic. We have the potential for a hurricane in the Atlantic. And if this holds steady, that'll probably be the driving force to direct that storm right into Florida or certainly into the Gulf of Mexico. So something to watch by the end of this week and the start of next weekend. But really what we're watching in this upcoming weekend, because we have big festivals going on. Palisade Peach Fest is going to be happening this weekend. And while we have a chance of rain showers, I think we might dry it up. We'll see. But I think the placement of that high pressure system may not go as deep east as we would like. regardless. The next couple of days, we're still going to be hot. We're going to have a little bit of a breeze because of that fluctuation between the low and the high pressure system I just spoke of. And then getting into this weekend, yeah, we'd like to trim back our temperatures back to the averages. We'd like to hang our hat on a better rain forecast, but right now we're just going to be looking at scattered individual cells working through the region with the emphasis and the focus on the San Juans, which has been the case for the last 7 weeks. But we still keep rain in the forecast this weekend.